Welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. Dun, 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 dun. Happy Friday, everybody! Anything new and unusual and happy, good news for anybody? It's a good day. It is a good day indeed. Let's see. I want to say hello to God damn, always somebody ringing my this show is live, guys. We got people coming to the doorbell. Wolfie is barking her ass off. There, she's our early detection warning system. I want to say hi to Zelda and Diane London, who are the first to join me today. Hello, you two. We also have the alien drummer saying, "Hey, Brooklyn Dad, you're my favorite. So kind of you to say these things." Karen Gosson wants to know if I'm as excited as she is right now. Oh man, you don't even know. You don't even know. So, okay, before I unravel and get into all that rigmarole, let me do a quick review of what I like to call the stories of the day.
Stories of the day.
Stories of the day. Fun fact, that very deep voice, that is me, but with an audio filter that I no longer have. But that was fun. Anyway, so today's show, we have Trump fined $355 million, Defiant DA Willis, and Alexei Navalny killed. So, yeah, that was the first thing I heard today. And it was a sad, very sad thing because he is the opposition leader. He didn't even have to go back to Russia. This is wifey was asking me, why did he go back? And honestly, I didn't have an answer for her. But other than he just believed that somebody had to stand up to and oppose Vladimir Putin. We'll talk about that in a bit. DA Fani Willis had a fiery appearance at the hearing this week that was intended to see if she should be removed, disqualified for not being forthcoming about her relationship. And last but not least, the best news tidbit of the day, of the week, is that Donald Trump has been slammed with a $355 million fine. And that's not all. It's actually even bigger than that. And if there's time, hopefully there is time, but if there is time, because it's pizza and movie night, Friday night, I've got a you raggedy bish to share with you guys.
You raggedy bish.
Fun fact: the the raggedy bish featured in this picture here is Matt Gaetz, and he is actually another news tidbit that um, crossed my line of sight a few hours ago. I don't even have time to discuss him. Hmm? There's him. There's other news tidbits that I can't cover. But go Google what's up with Matt Gaetz. It's been a crazy week. So yeah, before I get carried away, excuse me. Let me also say hello to Diane London says she's a gloating machine here in SoCal. Aries Wanderer, welcome, my friend. Bernadette H. Meredith Powell. Stella Baxter. Lynn B. Carolina Albert. Claudia is here. The Trump Reaper is here. Fox Hill Dreams. Trisha. Samantha McIntyre. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. The ABX girl. Hey, there's the one I haven't seen in a while. Philosophy is in the hizzy. It seems like we are He says, it seems like we are brainwashed. Ask me why. Why? Why, my friend? Mama AG is here. Elaine Prieto. Karen Purdy from Newton Falls, Ohio. Karen Purdy, my goodness. She used to be a staple in these shows, and I haven't seen you for so long. I'm so happy to see you. Zelda, my friend. Oh my goodness, you were knocking my socks off. Thank you. Thank you so kindly for the kind donation. That's my scrolling music. Hey, Wilbur McCarthy is here, and Bruce Gamzee. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. So let's go ahead and jump back. Oh, what I wanted to yeah, I already said what I wanted to say about this raggedy bitch here. If you're just joining us, please remember to hit that subscribe button. I promise you the content gets better than the first 5 minutes of the show here. And also hit the like button. It gets even better actually if you comment. If you comment on the side there and I can see it and I can shout you out or whatever. Here, I'll tell you why. Because the money verdict against Trump is a huge distraction from the actual news the murderer Putin endorsed. Yeah. Yeah, that was a strange news tidbit too. Did you guys hear? This is the most bizarre thing that I also don't have time to really dig deep into. I can't figure it out. But apparently, Vladimir Putin earlier this week seemed to endorse, and I want to throw air quotes around around endorse, seemed to endorse President Biden, and in a backhanded kind of way. Like, he said that Joe Biden is better for Russia than Donald Trump. Now, you can take that with a grain of salt because we all know that Vladimir Putin is an ex-KGB guy. Those guys are very good at how you say, mind the game. They're very good at the reverse psychology. So we're supposed to think, well, if Putin likes Biden, that must mean he's bad for us. So that's what that's all about. I'm 100% sure that is, as Fox Hill Dreams says, it's gaslighting. Thank you for that, Fox Hill Dreams. Now, on to the show. This Sunday seems like forever ago, but this Sunday was the Super Bowl, right? It's like I feel like I'm taking crazy like time travel pills. It was just this Sunday, and what a game this was. It was an incredible game. It's actually kind of fun if you don't really have a horse in the race or with skin in the game, whatever. I didn't really care which team won. Like either team winning, this is one of those rare instances where no matter which team wins, I win. I'm sorry, San Francisco fans there. I know Sandra from Paramount, California. I don't know if you're a San Francisco 49er fan, but hey, they did their thing too. Hey, my friend Philosophy. Thank you, my friend. That is very kind of you, buddy. Thank you for that. Anyway, it was a hard fought game. Defense was the name of the game. Each team had one touchdown apiece, and then it was all field goals. And they were trading. The first half, it looked like San Francisco was dominating, and it looked like, oh, Kansas City, maybe you guys are shit out of luck this year. But then, little by little, they chipped away, and then they caught up, and then it were just trading field goals, and then it went into overtime, and then bada bing, bada boom, Patrick Mahomes found the magic once again. So it was really, really, really exciting. It was a great show. The halftime show I thought was lit. It was awesome. There was so many people. Alicia Keys was there. Lil Jon, who I mistakenly was Lil Wayne all these years. Okay. Roller skates were featured in this. It was a fun halftime show. And yeah, Meredith Powell, she says you gotta love Brock Purdy though. Yeah, that kid, Brock Purdy was his nickname was Mr. Irrelevant because he was chosen last in the draft, like number 262. It's pretty incredible that he rose from that to the Super Bowl. It's fantastic. I love that story. The commercials were fun. Um, I think probably the most popular, well received one was the Dunkin' Donuts one with J Lo and Ben Affleck and Matt Damon and Tom Brady. And Dunkin' Donuts is apparently a thing in Boston, so that was the whole. That was the joke right there. Me personally, one of my favorite ones was the one with Christopher Walken. And I got to digress here for a quick minute. He is like Christopher Walken is one of my favorite actors, and it's because of how he talks. So, so the joke of that commercial was that everybody who encounters Christopher Walken tries to do an impression of Christopher Walken to Christopher Walken. And that is something I did when I met the man. I met him probably 97 or 98, 1970, 97. And this is when I was having a cigarette break. I was a smoker back then. I was smoking. And here he comes. Dude was tall as, I don't know, he's maybe 6'5". He's a giant. And he had his shades on. And so, so I walk alongside him, and I'm like, "You're Christopher Walken, right?" He says, "Yeah." I says, "Don't worry, my friend. No one will know." And he shook my hand, and he took off. I love that story. He's a good guy. He's good. No one will know. Okay, so where was I? We're talking about commercials, and then we were treated to literally only about 50 seconds of Taylor Swift, and that was enough to throw MAGA Nation into meltdown overdrive. I don't know why I thought they were boycotting the show to begin with, but anyway, it was kind of satisfying that the Chiefs won because then you got to see. Oh, this was not pretty. Taylor Swift's boyfriend, Travis, got in the face of Andy Reid. And so this was the craziest thing, right? There were people jumping on my tweets, right? Well, what do you have to say about Travis Kelce? Like, well, that was fucked up what he did, to that old man Andy Reid. With that said, I don't think Andy Reid was worried about Andy Reid as everybody else was worried about Andy Reid. I mean, Travis Kelce is one guy. He does have like 50 some odd other dudes on that team who would back him in a heartbeat. Nobody's letting anything bad happen to Andy Reid. So that was one of those things, his passion of the moment. Travis Kelce was like, just keep me in the game or some shit like that. He was upset because there was an interception that he thought wouldn't have happened if he was in the game, or a fumble, whatever. But yeah, so yeah, I denounce the roughness displayed, the inappropriate roughness displayed by who is supposed to be a tender, loving football player, Travis Kelce. Chock full of testosterone. Okay, so I just briefly want to touch on this movie, The Banker, that I talked to you guys about last week. It's on Apple TV, starring Anthony Mackie and Samuel L. Jackson as two guys who want to purchase banks, plural. But this is happening in like the 1950s, when that shit is not only is it unheard of, but it's like dangerous. People will fuck you up, try to purchase a bank. Uh, totally legit, except that they had to get a white guy to front for them, to be the face. They provide the money, he provided the face, the acceptable face, because a black person couldn't buy a bank. They couldn't be in charge of finance. You know, there was like a concerted effort to keep black people out of nice communities. It was a thing called redlining. There's a whole thing, there's a whole history behind this. And this brother, Anthony Mackie's character, he wanted to do something like activist, like revolutionary. You know, he wanted to buy a bank so he could loan money to black people. It was beautiful. So I love the movie. It was a very good movie. Highly recommend it. Please check it out if you get a chance to check it out. Tonight, Wifey and I think we're going to check out a movie that looks kind of silly to me, but also fun. And I don't care, you know. It's directed by Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi is a New Zealand director, and fun fact, Wifey is from New Zealand. You guys know that. So we love his stuff. He's a very funny guy. Um, and it's about a football. When I say football, I mean soccer, the other football, soccer coach who gets fired and then he gets hired by like the worst team on the planet, though literally the worst team on the planet. This is also based on a true story. That other thing, The Banker, based on a true story. This one, based on a true story. And Michael Fassbender, aka Magneto from the X-Men, is the blonde guy in the blue shirt here in the picture. Sandra from Paramount, California says, hell, they still have redlining in this country. Let me find out. That's not good. That's not good. I don't want it. All right, so let's jump into the other really awesome news this week. Was there was a special election in the NY03. That's District 3. That's like Long Island. It's Long Island. Long Island is typically like Republican territory. However, the 3rd district in New York was previously won by Joe Biden by 8 points in 2020 election, right? But it was afterward, it was won by, you know, that charlatan, George Santos. You know, head scratchingly, he won that district with lies. You know, he lied about who the hell he was. He misrepresented himself. You know, whatever. Don't get me started. You know about that. Anyway, so this election, this special election, came down to Tom Suozzi versus Mazi Pilip. So it was Suozzi versus Mazi. And Suozzi won. Suozzi won. No one will know. So Suozzi won, and let me say, I never heard of this guy before. Apparently, he already had the gig, but he seems like he had it. You know, he's like I watched his acceptance speech. Very charismatic guy, very personable, very confident. You know, like you immediately know that if you were to meet that guy, you would like him instantly. Me personally, I would like him. You know, and he had some really good things to say. And I think the biggest takeaway was that his victory was also buoyed. Obviously, Democrats turned out, and I think his victory ended up being by around 8 points. You know, which is nothing to sneeze at. A very big victory considering that it snowed that day, so the snow was a concern. Snow plows came out and they moved the snow out of the way, but still, snow. When it snows, people sometimes don't know how to act. Hello, Carol Carson. I see you there, my friend. And so Democrats showed up, but the interesting thing was that afterwards, Republican voters were spoken to, and a lot of them were like, "Yeah, we we decided to vote Democratic because we didn't like how the House Republicans tanked that border security bill." They cited that. It's not like the reporter was like, you know, did the border security bill do it for you? No, they came out and said, we didn't like that shit. It's clear that they can't legislate. They're not trying to govern. They just like the chaos. This whole time I was thinking, God damn, Americans are not paying attention yet, but apparently some of them are enough to turn the tide in this most recent election. So my spirits are buoyed by the results of that election, as are the spirits of Tom Swazi. Swazi. I have some fun news for you guys. My friend T-Pain, aka T-Pain USA, has been unmasked. Well, it was never really masked. He just never actually came out publicly to say, "Hey, yo, it's T-Pain here." T-Pain is a great guy who's had some rough times. Recently he's had some good times because he's recently met a she-pain, she-pain, and he's getting married. So T-Pain is now making videos on Really American. He's always been part of the Really American team, but now he's going to be more vocal and more visible. And if you want to catch his commentaries, log into Really American's YouTube page, the Really American YouTube, and there's content from T-Pain. There's also content from Chip Franklin. You see his videos on my page all the time. Dude is very funny. I talk to him every day. He is hysterical, but they're also very sharp. So make sure you check out their content. And also there's Justin Horowitz, who's making a ton of videos every day. Excellent content. Check it out. Tell your friends. Let's do this. We're trying to, beef things up for this 2024 election cycle. So don't miss it. Subscribe now while supplies last. Oh yeah, this week was Valentine's Day. I hope you guys had a nice Valentine's Day. I sure did. Wifey and I, we went out for ding ding. We had dinner, and we had some chocolates too. And I had lava cake, and it was a very nice time. President Biden posted a very sweet picture of himself and Dr. Jill. He says, "Jilly, you're the love of my life and the life of my love. Happy Valentine's Day." Everybody say it together. Oh, yeah. And then there was another Valentine's Day card that was posted. It wasn't a card, it was more like a poem. It was emailed to the supporters, the followers, the fund providers for Donald Trump. He sent out a fundraising email to his followers, which was a note to his wife and Melania. In case she has been out of the public eye for a while, you might have forgotten. It says, "Dear Melania, I love you. Even after every single indictment, arrest, and witch hunt," because, nothing says, I love you like talking about witch hunts and indictments. "You never left my side." That's probably the best line in this whole poem. "You never left my side." Because nobody has seen her. And this is the ironic thing. He was just literally just attacking Nikki Haley, saying, "Where's her husband? Where's your wife, dude?" I mean, how does he get away with the blatant hypocrisy? Like, they don't even care. They don't even care. Anyway, yeah, so that was funny. Yeah. Now Letitia James got into the action there, and she had a poem for Donald Trump, and her poem said, "Roses are red, violets are blue. No one is above the law, even when you think the rules don't apply to you. No one will know." Oh, those was very clever and on point for a week in which she lowered the boom on his ass, or actually Judge Engoron did. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, The sad news that we had today was while Tucker Carlson is over there going grocery shopping and loving up murderer Vladimir Putin, Alexei Navalny apparently fell. He fell, not out of a window, but he fell and he died at the ripe old age of 47 years old. 47. And this story boggles my mind. Maybe I'm ignorant and I should, Google why he went back to Russia. I mean, that's a humongous risk. You know it. You already know when somebody is after your ass, just like, just avoid. I have gone several blocks out of my way sometimes to avoid like messed up areas. I don't do it anymore because I ain't afraid of nobody, all right? Just so you know, I ain't afraid of you, Putin. Actually, I have a healthy respect for the kind of murderer he is. But Alexei Navalny was like, he was poisoned. Alexei Navalny was poisoned, and then he was in a coma, and then he recovered, left, and I don't know, he came back. Can anybody explain to me why he came back? I don't know. I mean, I said earlier, I'm assuming he came back because it was important to him. Oh, here we go. Okay. As I was just about to say, Jennifer H says, I thought the same thing, but he was determined to fight his cause. And Lynn B offers this explanation. He said he went back because the movement needed him. That is something. That is powerful. Whew. Karen Purdy says, that's the definition of bravery. Indeed. Indeed. Okay, so and President Biden made a statement today. It was very strong in its condemnation of Vladimir Putin. He acknowledges that he said he put the responsibility for the death of Alexei Navalny squarely on Vladimir Putin. That said, he did not explicitly come out and say Vladimir Putin assassinated Alexei Navalny. Now, see if you can parse that. There's a difference. There's a difference. He is saying that Alexei Navalny died because of Vladimir Putin. He doesn't say that Vladimir Putin had him executed, but I think everybody knows. I'm not a fool. So I have people shouting at me, New NYAG is live, BDD. I don't know what you guys want me to do. As soon as I say the New York Attorney General is speaking, here, let me see if I can turn my volume on. Protect the integrity of the marketplace. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Donald Trump engaged in deceptive business practices and tremendous fraud. Donald Trump falsely, knowingly inflated his net worth by billions of dollars to unjustly enrich himself, his family, and to cheat the system. Donald Trump may have authored the art of the deal, but he perfected the art of the steal. This long-running fraud was intentional, egregious, illegal, and he did all of this with the help of the other defendants, his two adult sons, and senior executives at the Trump Organization. And so, after 11 weeks of trial, we showed the staggering extent of his fraud and exactly how Donald Trump and the other defendants deceived banks, insurance companies, and other financial institutions for their own personal gain. We proved just how much Donald Trump, his family, and his company unjustly benefited from his fraud. Today, the court, once again, ruled in our favor and in favor of every hard-working American who plays by the rules. Donald Trump and the other defendants were ordered to pay $463.9 million
That represents $363.9 million in disgorgement, plus $100 million in interest, which will continue to increase every single day until it is paid. Donald Trump, the former chief financial officer of the Trump Organization, Alan Weisselberg, and the former controller of the Trump Organization, Jeffrey McConney, are each banned from serving as an officer or director of any New York company for 3 years. Mr. Weisselberg and Mr. McConney are also banned for life from serving in a financial management role in any New York company.
Wow.
Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump are banned from serving as an officer or director of any New York company for 2 years.
Banned for life.
Donald Trump and his companies are banned from applying for loans from any New York bank or financial institution for 3 years. A new independent director of compliance will be created at the Trump Organization to ensure the company establishes internal protocols and meets financial reporting obligations. And the current independent external monitor will continue to oversee the company's financial dealings and ensure this fraud cannot continue. I want to be clear.
Soon.
White-collar financial fraud is not a victimless crime. When the powerful break the law and take more than their fair share, there are fewer resources available for working people, small businesses, and families. And everyday Americans cannot lie to a bank about how much money they have in order to get a mortgage to buy a home, or a loan to keep their business afloat, or to send their child to college. And if they did, our government would throw the book at them. I want to thank the entire incredible and hardworking team in my office that tried this case, because the scale and the scope of Donald Trump's fraud is staggering. And so too is his ego and his belief that the rules do not apply to him. Today, we are holding Donald Trump accountable.
That's right, goddammit.
We are holding him accountable for lying, cheating, and a lack of contrition, and for flouting the rules that all of us must play by. Because there cannot be different rules for different people in this country.
That's right.
And former presidents are no exception.
No exception.
This decision is a massive victory for every American who believes in that simple but fundamental pillar of our democracy, that the rule of law applies to all of us, equally, fairly, and justly. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
We've been listening to
oh my God. that was so satisfying. Hold on. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you for telling me that was on, because I can't even tell you how many times I miss shit like that. You guys are fantastic. I love you. I love you so much. Wow, that was a great speech, man. I felt that. She was like punctuating certain words, man. Whew, and didn't she look good with those pearls on, though? Right? Oh, that was fantastic. It's well-deserved victory lap there. Hang on a second. I have a whole thing planned out. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Before I move on, excuse me. Alexei, before we were interrupted by this fabulous speech, Alexei Navalny did leave a word behind for his followers, and I want to share that. I want to share that with you. Just give me a second here to share my screen. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to say share, and then we're going to make this big, and I'm going to hit play. Wait. Okay.
Здесь у меня просто очевидная вещь. Ну, не сдавайтесь. Не надо, нельзя сдаваться. Если это произошло, это означает, что мы
If they decide to kill me, it means we are incredibly
если
strong.
они решили меня убить. Ну и нужно использовать эту силу. Не сдаваться. Помните о том, что мы огромная сила,
We're a huge power,
которая находится под гнетом вот
oppressed
этих
by
вот
these bad
чуваков
dudes.
плохих, лишь потому что мы не можем осознать, насколько действительно мы
We don't
сильны.
realize how strong we
Всё,
actually
что
are.
нужно для торжества зла,
The only necessary
бездействие
thing
добрых
for the
людей.
triumph of evil is for
Поэтому
good people
бездействовать не надо.
to do nothing. So don't
Здесь у
be
меня просто
inactive.
очевидно.
Man, that was a good brother. That was a good brother, and an excellent quote. And, you know, just like a very poignant, prescient statement. He says, if they kill me, it's because they realize how strong we are. Wow. That's powerful. The dude knew he was going to die. If that's not bravery, I don't know what is. So yesterday there was a hearing in Fulton County to determine whether Fani Willis should be prevented from working this trial, this case that she herself, to prevent her from actively participating in the prosecution of Donald Trump and his 18 co-defendants because of her involvement, her relationship with, I think his name is Nathan Wade. First of all, I've never heard of anything like that before, right? I've never heard of anybody being disqualified for a relationship. This is that fucking bullshit out of, I want to say, the National Enquirer playbook. Okay. This stinks of a Donald Trump scheme to muddy the waters, to dirty her, to sully her reputation, right? Who the hell cares who this woman is sleeping with and who she's spending her time with? Now, I had a lot of people jumping on my tweets saying, oh, Brooklyn Dad, it's not about the relationship. It's about the misuse and misuse of funds and blah, 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 blah. Say what you will about that bullshit. They don't care about, they honestly, at the end of the day, they don't care about money changing hands or whatever. And she kept some cash on hand, as her father always told her, keep cash on hand because you're a black person. And you know what? That's not untrue. A lot of people, a lot of folks I know don't put their money in the banks. They just don't trust it. It's been like that since I was little. But that's not what this was about. This wasn't about money. It wasn't about funding. It was about tainting her. It was about wrecking her credibility. She had the audacity to come after the former president of the United States, and that's all they had on her. That was it. That was all they had. You know, the fact that she fell in love. That was her crime. Her crime was, what was her crime? Her crime was a consensual adult relationship. She wasn't grabbing anybody by the privates. No. Consensual adult relationship. I don't care about, and I don't want to be in anybody's bedroom. I don't. So anyway, Nathan Wade, special prosecutor. You know, if I'm thinking about this, if I'm breaking it down, I'm thinking to myself, did you have to? Did you have to hire this guy? Apparently, she got involved with him romantically after she hired him. It's none of my business. You know, it happens. That happens to people. People work together. They work in close proximity. They spend a long time, many, many hours looking at each other in the face. Sparks fly. This shit happens. But it was clear from the get-go, from Jump Street, when Ashley Merchant, the very tall blonde woman for the defense, started going in on Nathan Wade, and the texture of her questions and the tone was like, I don't really have anything. It was just a fishing expedition. They say in law, never ask a question that you don't have the answer to. She didn't have any answers to any of the questions that she was asking. She was constantly like surprised by these answers that she was giving. Oh, is that so? Let me look in my papers again. That's what that was. So Fani Willis, this was all the way towards the end of the day. They had been in this hearing for hours and hours and hours. And now the lawyers, both the prosecution and the defense, were going at it, debating whether or not Fani Willis should participate. And here she comes. She came down the aisle. She like stormed to the front of the room, and she's standing there like, put me in, coach. She was like, and you could see like she was seething. She was seething. She, let's get this shit over with. And man, it was a great decision that she made to jump in there and stand up for herself. And she was angry that they were lying about her record, about things that she had done, about places, people, places, and things they were lying about her on. And let me just share my favorite clip from that hearing yesterday is this one right here.
So your office objected to us getting Delta records for flights that you may have taken on this trip. And well, no. I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial. So you're all
hot damn. That's right. That's absolutely right. Bravo to her for that. That was awesome. Yeah, absolutely. She's not the one who's on trial. She's not the one who tried to steal an election. And that's the reality that was getting glossed over yesterday, and it was really just kind of frustrating. And to if you needed more explanation of what the hell was happening today, the former governor of Georgia showed up, and I think his name was Ray. I can't remember his last name. It was Ray something. He was the former governor of Georgia. Let me say he was like a very personable guy, Democrat. Nice is he's got like this southern drawl, and he just come on in and have a nice tea, have a seat here on the porch. My accent is horrible, but very personable and congenial, right? The way the defense dealt with this witness was unbelievable. I mean, they were as kind. You would have thought that he was the second coming of Jesus. They were so kind and nice and gentle with him. Every other witness on the stand was a black man or a black woman. They were not as nice to them. Nowhere near nice at all. Not even to Fani Willis's dad took the stand today, and I love this guy, John Clifford Floyd III. I like this papa here. I like him with his glasses that make his eyes look big. And I don't know about all these things. I know she used to have a boyfriend, and he had all his DJ stuff. I don't know about his DJ, but it was always in my way. I like that guy very much. And even them, they sent even him, gentle, kind old man. They sent like 5 different lawyers with 5 different sets of questions for him. Come on now. What are you guys doing? You don't have anything. You're just fishing for stuff. And they tried to, I guess, draw some kind of conclusion that the fact that she hadn't told her father about Nathan Wade. So what? Is that a crime? Is that a crime? Oh, she didn't tell her father. Oh, it was a secret. Seriously. At the end of the day, is it daddy's business? It ain't. The only reason that he knew about the boyfriend is because they were living in the same space. Come on, it's ridiculous. So, to her credit, Fani Willis held her own. I like the fact that, she's the district attorney and you could feel that, like, that she had that authority. She wielded that authority. You couldn't cut through her authority with the laser beam. And she did very well. Very well. Before we go any further, please remember to hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you very much. Let's talk about the big news of the day, and that is Donald Trump is going to have to fork over. He's going to have to fork over, let's call it $500 million, because that's what it is. It is now $453 million. And if you were listening along with the press conference, some of that is going to be interest. Wow. Interest has to accrue over a period of time. Holy shit. And then I don't know if you guys watch MSNBC, but they have a legal expert who is, I don't even think she goes home. They must have set up a cot for her in the studio, because I swear to God, she is there every day, all day long. She's great, though. She's fantastic. Lisa Rubin. She said that if Donald Trump wants to appeal this amount, so the amount is $355 million, plus Don Jr. has to pay $4 million, Eric has to pay $4 million, and Alan Weisselberg has to pay $1 million. So all in, that brings the total from 355 to now 364. 364 million is how everybody's been bundling this amount. But Donald Trump himself, that number is 355. Lisa Rubin says if he wants to appeal the amount of money that he owes, he has to front 120% of that total. Where's he going to get that cash? Huh? He's already spent $50 million. He spent $50 million just so that he could pay E. Jean Carroll $83 million in another verdict. At some point, all of this money, it's not even real anymore. It's just 50 million kajillion dollars. It's just so much money. It's unfathomable. Scott says, not from the RNC. So that's interesting too, because we heard earlier this week that Donald Trump wants his daughter-in-law, Lara Trump, to co-chair the RNC. And she says that all of the RNC money is going to be funneled to Donald Trump. I couldn't love that scenario anymore. Like, if I could, I would personally campaign to the RNC and beg and plead them to please make Lara Trump the co-chair. Because if she's the co-chair and she plans to funnel everything to Donald Trump, what happens to all the rest of those candidates? All those House seats that we have to fight for, all those Senate seats that we have to fight for. I'm not sure what happens with the Senate seats if the RNC pays for those races too. I don't know. What I do know is any money you take away from Republican candidates, That's money well spent. It's money well invested. So yeah, I honestly hope they spend every penny that they have. Lulu Girl says time for, oh wait, she says time for more NFTs. Foxhill Dreams thinks Spanky might stroke out. Marie from New Jersey says the Saudis. That's she believes the Saudis might fork up some cash for Spanky McDumbass. Um, it's possible. They don't strike me as dumb. They don't. They don't. You can't possess that much wealth and be dumb. Just they hire people to make sure that they're not dumb with their wealth. I'm sure of it. How does that explain the $2 billion to Jared Kushner? You got me there. I don't know. Trump Reaper says, I thought you said the RNC pays for those racists too. Well, that's mostly true, I think. I don't think they're all racist. In fact, I would prefer that, we reserve the word racist for people who actually are racist. And in order to call someone racist, you have to see them do some racist shit. And that means, being supportive of another racist. You can't be supportive of a racist and then say, I'm not racist. I never called anybody the N-word. Anyway, revenge is a dish best served in millions. What could possibly happen? I mean, I'm thinking maybe Donald Trump has to are there any financial experts in the audience here that can tell me can Donald Trump apply for bankruptcy? Can he, even though he clearly has assets that he could use? He could sell. I'm sure he's got some assets that he could sell, but here's a problem now. His game has already been peeped. His bullshit, the way he values his stuff is why he's in this hole in the first place. Like he said, one of his properties was worth $1.3 billion, and it's clearly not. It's at the most it's 18 million. He inflated its value like by X amount. It's crazy. Lynn B says the tower is apparently worth 160 million, and that's the only property he owns outright in NY. Thank you for that, Lynn B. So yeah, is he going to file for bankruptcy? Will that save him? I wonder. I don't know. I don't even know how it works, but there are creditors. There's people that he owes money to, especially, just E. Jean Carroll. What a freaking hero. And Letitia James and Judge Engeron, all these folks. And it's not even over yet, right? We also learned earlier this week, I forget if it was yesterday or the day before, there's the Alvin Bragg case. Alvin Bragg is the Manhattan DA, and his case has just been scheduled to commence jury selection on March 25th. How is that? Lulu Girl with some more data here. Let's see what we got here. I heard he can use his assets as collateral for appeal, but is it enough? I heard he's got $100 million debt on tower. Oh my goodness. By the end of this weekend, we're all going to be experts on, what he can do with his money. I think he's gotten himself cornered, and that's good. Serves his ass right. So this is a meme that I came up with I think it was last year. Might have been Lynn Cheney, I think, was the Liz Cheney was the first person I used this meme for. This is For those of you who don't know, there's a show called Game of Thrones in which a character named Lady Olenna gets sweet, sweet, sweet revenge on her nemesis, Cersei, and she's consumed poison, and I think she actually even knows that she's been poisoned. She consumes poison, and she tells the guy, Cersei's brother, aka lover. This is a crazy show. She tells his brother slash lover, tell Cersei I want her to know it was me. And so I memized that thing and put Liz Cheney and then Jack Smith and now now Letitia James in there. I did this quickly. It would have been much better had I given it some time. But yeah, this is what I do in my spare time. I do silly Photoshop stuffs. My skills are, I promise you, my skills are way better than what you're seeing here. But I did that. I did that. And yes, please remember to hit the subscribe and like button. And so now it appears I have time. I do indeed have time for
You raggedy bitch.
yeah. And today's You Raggedy Bish is dedicated to none other than Tucker Carlson. Tucker motherfucker Carlson. Why? Well, partially because he's helping to disseminate uh, uh, misinformation and propaganda from the guy who just killed Alexei Navalny, Vladimir Putin. But I take exception with, he made a comment the other day on video. He said that uh, that Moscow, he said that Moscow is more beautiful than any American city. What? Have you been to every goddamn American city? That is one of the most ridiculous thing I've heard. It's ridiculous. He's trying to make an argument that Russia is so much better than the United States. I don't care if President Biden was the worst president ever. I don't care if, and he's not, he's one of the best, actually. You can make an argument that he's probably the best president of the 21st century so far. You could say that. But I don't care how bad America gets. Like, you prefer Russia to America? You know, Russia is led by a dictator, a murderous dictator. In fact, he kills people. He kills people like Tucker Carlson. He kills journalists. They somehow mysteriously all end up falling out of windows. So anyway, today Tucker Carlson posted a video in which he says that the grocery situation in Moscow, in Russia, is so much better than it is here in America. Look at this. 1 month's groceries only cost $400. Mind you, $400, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's a significant amount of money for groceries. Some people might say, oh, that's a bargain, but whatever. I'm not rich. $400 is a lot, even for a family of four. What he doesn't say is that in Russia, that $400 is 70% of what people make, what people earn for a salary in Russia. So they're spending 70% of their money on food. So here, I have the video for you. I have it, and I'm going to share it. And let's see, here we go. Here, let's share that. But before I share the video, let me just share. I'm really starting to love these. What do you call these things? Community notes. Readers added context to this video. Over 60% of Russians spend half of their salary on food, according to Russia's state-owned news agency, TASS. Mind you, if this is the state-owned news, this is the news that Russia wants to get out. This is something that they're proud of. They're proud that more than half of their citizens spend half of their salary on food. The average wage in Russia is 73,383 rubles per month, which is $791 with today's exchange rate. $791 is what the average Russian is making per month. Now to the video.
Corruption. If you take people's standard of living and you tank it through filth and crime and inflation, and they literally can't buy the groceries they want, at that point, maybe it matters less what you say or whether you're a good person or a bad person. You're wrecking people's lives in their country, and that's what our leaders have done to us. And coming to a Russian grocery store, the heart of evil, and seeing what things cost and how people live, it will radicalize you against our leaders. That's how I feel anyway, radicalized. We're not making any of this up, by the way, at all. Corruption.
So Tucker Carlson's base, the people who he caters to, the people he's speaking to, it's not us. It's Trump supporters mostly. It's some conservatives, some people, some libertarians, whatever. Those are a lot of I'm going to say 95% of those people, when you're online and you're posting something, some criticism about America, right? They'll say, well, if you don't like America, you should just leave. You should go move to Africa. If I had $1 for every time some stupid motherfucker said that to me, I'd be rich. I'd have enough to pay off Donald Trump's debt. That's how much I would have. I always hate that criticism. I always hate those comments. If you don't like it, leave. Like, that's not. I don't believe in that at all. I don't believe that you should not criticize your government or criticize your country. I believe that if you want better, first of all, if you love something or someone, you correct them, right? I used to tell my kids when they were young, look, if you have a booger hanging out of your nose, I'm going to tell you. I don't care how embarrassed it makes you. I don't want you walking around out there embarrassing yourself. I love you. I care about you. So I'm going to tell you, you got a booger here. I'll hand you a napkin, a tissue to wipe your nose. If I don't care, I'm going to see that booger and I'll be like, wait till people see him. Same goes for our country. You love our country. It behooves you to step up and say, hey, we need to fix this. But the people who watch Tucker Carlson, I swear to God, they love to tell us when we say, hey, we need to fix this about America. Billionaires should pay more so that school kids have free lunch. They'll step up and say, they'll defend those billionaires, those poor billionaires. They'll step up and say, if you hate America so much, you should just move out of here and leave to some communist country. Now their hero, Tucker Carlson, now he hates America. He's not even giving any constructive criticism. He is just basically just spreading Putin's propaganda, right? Which has already been fact checked on a platform that is favorable to conservatives. So it's his commentary is so fucking fucked up that even Twitter users are like checking him, fact checking him, and saying, "Oh, wait. That's not as great as you think it is. That's not the flex that you think it is. It's bad." So yeah, that is why Tucker Carlson is today's "You Raggedy Bush." Fox Hill Dreams wants to know if Putin is paying America. Meredith Powell says Putin would try and annihilate America in a heartbeat if not for our allies and huge military. Not a fun fact, but yeah, this is also in view of the fact that earlier this week Donald Trump said that if a NATO nation didn't pay their protection money, says, "Oh, you didn't pay? You didn't pay? Yeah, and Russia's attacking us." He says he would recommend that Russia do whatever the hell they want to do. Meanwhile, NATO, the only time Article 5 had to be invoked, and Article 5 says, if a member nation is under attack, that the other nations will rally to their aid. The only time Article 5 ever had to be enacted was on 9/11. We were attacked, and the member nations came together and supported us. That's what happened. That's what NATO is for. Chris Pizzeri says Rump has zero concept of how NATO works. Correctamundo. Pam Ham says Tuckums is a big old green slimy booger. And yeah, here's another one from Chris Pizzeri. NATO is meant to protect everyone, including America, from hostilities, period. And here's a fun fact from Claudia. Says Zillow says Mar-a-Lago is worth $60 million. Interesting. He will clearly inflate that and add another zero and say that it's worth $600 million. But I think when he does that with like foreign nations or whatever, when he inflates it, that's their way of money laundering. That's how they launder their money. Hey, Sherry Scary is here. Congratulations, Sherry Scary. For those of you who don't know, Sherry Scary is a major Kansas City Chiefs fan. So congratulations to you and your Chiefs. I know you're still and I hope you didn't know anybody who was caught up in that drama this week at the parade. It was terrible. It was terrible what happened. Cha is here. She says his lawyers aren't getting paid. You would think people would have some kind of common sense, right? That they would know better than to affiliate themselves with a guy who is known for stiffing people. Yeah, whatever. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me for this very satisfying episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. Yeah, so tonight is pizza movie night. As I said, we're gonna watch that movie about soccer, and it's a comedy or whatever. Can't remember the name of it, but I am also gonna have pizza, and it's frozen. Oh wait, damn it, we're out of that frozen pizza. Although I think my son may have gone to the store while I was doing the show to get some more. It's Red Baron. It's frozen. And we throw the turkey pepperoni on it. Yeah, Meredith wants to know what's my favorite pizza. Right now, it is that. it used to be that California Kitchen barbecue pizza, and before this, wifey said to me, she said we didn't have any more of the Red Baron. I was like, what? We got to make that toilet paper rule. The toilet paper rule is you never run out. You never run out of toilet paper. I want my pizza to never run out. She said, but we have the barbecue. I was like, I don't want the barbecue. Anyway, turkey pepperoni, Red Baron, that's my favorite, with the buffalo wings. And that's that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not yet gotten your shot, do yourself a favor, get a shot, get a booster. It will help you improve your 5G signal. No, it won't. I have to say, no, it won't, because YouTube is serious with that shit. They will flag this video as being misinformation. Ooh, okay. So Sicilians, those of you who don't know, the Sicilian is the square pizza, and it's fat, and I love that stuff too, with mushrooms. Ah, that is excellent. Yeah. Okay, so you guys, thank you for joining me for another fun episode of Storytime with BDD. I love you very much. I will see you here same time, same place. I love you all. Peace.